how does this work? Okay. Now let's consider an example of Bluetooth headset. All of you all know Bluetooth headsets, right? Now, when I type a Bluetooth headset, I just remember these words, okay? Because sometimes they get asked in interview. The search bar, okay? Whether it is Netflix, whether it is YouTube, whether it is Google, is called the search query. Now, this is what is my query, right? This is what I'm asking Google. So this is called a search query. So the keyword and all of these keywords are also search queries, but this is my search query. Now, when this happens, the page that comes in is called as a SERP page. I mentioned this, right? Search engine results page. Now, every search engine results page has paid listing and non-paid listing. And non-paid listing are organic listing, which is where our SEO comes in. So a paid listing is what you see here, which are these shopping ads. And we will take this in our next session on SEM. But these are your shopping ads. The other ads you see down, right? You saw those other ads which were, your search listing itself. So you will have those ads here. And then your organic listing starts, which is this one. See, there's no AD here. So every search engine results page has paid and organic listings. Now, if you take the same thing on Bing, I don't know how many of you all have used Bing before. I had a Microsoft phone. So I think for that 1.5 to 2 years that I had that phone, I used to have to use Bing because it was by default. Bing search, however, today has become very similar, evolved into being very similar to Google search. So even today, if you see, there is this option and you saw it says Bluetooth headsets. Did you mean Bluetooth headset? Because technically, you can't, it is headset only because one headset has 2 ears, and you can't have like 2 sets. So it asks you to try to filter out the keyword or correct the keyword. These guys, however, don't correct it. They say headset only, but what they are saying is refine your search, make it better. So do you want a Bluetooth headset for your iPhone? Do you want it for your Xbox? Do you want it for your mobile? What do you want it for? So if I click on one of these things, this keyword will add on to the search query. So if I type for cell phone, this search will become Bluetooth headsets for cell phone, right? This entire search will change. So Bing allows you to filter out and exactly find the product for what you're looking for. If you go to Yahoo, however, and you put Bluetooth headset, and this is how Yahoo looks, right? Yeah, these are its search ads. You can see ADS here. Now, when you're talking about Yahoo search, right, you have an option. If you see, you put Bluetooth headsets, it gives you options with it, like how you have here, you can add to it, right? Here, it gives you refined versions only of the search. So are you looking at best Bluetooth headsets? Now, if I see Bluetooth headset and I see best Bluetooth headset, I may not want to click on it, right? Because I'm saying, okay, best ho ya Bluetooth headset, or it's Bluetooth headset only. So the filtration and refinement option of Yahoo search is not as strong as Google or Bing. I actually personally prefer this Bing because it allows you an option. The only problem is because there are so many now. A lot of people are not searching for iPhone, right? We are looking at normal phone, or we're looking at a different usage. This does not get to cover all of it. That's the only problem of Bing. Otherwise, this is something that would have helped a lot of people refine their search better. Now, the difference between this and this, right? If you see, if you put Bluetooth headsets and you put Bluetooth headset, the difference of spelling is one word. It's as simple as an S. However, if you see what comes here, right? The option here, listing here is Flipkart. Second here also it's Flipkart. However, look at the second listing. The second listing here is Paytm and the second listing here is Amazon. And like I said, SEO is determined to the last word, last alphabet spelling that you put in. So if I was a brand and I was, coming on top for Bluetooth headsets, if I was Paytm, I would not be coming at the top position for Bluetooth headset. So I have to make sure that I do SEO for both of these keywords. I cannot say that I will cover Bluetooth headset and I will sit, or I'll cover Bluetooth headsets and I'll sit. I have to do SEO for both of them separately. I still remember this, the keyword personal loans, and I used to handle this when I was in ADITYABIRLA, right? So there's personal loan and there's personal loans, right? Now, when there was personal loan, and I'm going to say this for an ad for now. The first is Bajaj, second is IndusInd, third is Paisa Bazaar, right? First is HDFC, second is Bajaj, third is IndusInd. Now, for the keyword personal loans, HDFC has come first. HDFC is not coming for personal loan, which means it has not even taken the word personal loan into their keyword optimization, right? And this is where a lot of brands don't, cover all keywords. You have to cover both keyword with and without an S. If the spelling is correct with and without an S, you have to cover both of them because people will search for anything. People search even for this, right? Now, if you see these guys, Bajaj Finserv has, personal loan, your Paisa Bazaar and Shriram Transport, they have also considered a wrong spelling. Because, and I'll be very honest, the number of people who put loan spelling as LONE is unbelievable. There's so many people who do this, right? Now, if I go down here in this search, don't tap Finbull Money Bureau. HDFC is not bidding for a wrong spelling also. But this is an opportunity, right? Because there are people who may not be perfect in spellings, but who are still looking at personal loans. You do want to cover them. So all of these also we have to make sure that this is optimized for spellings. Now there's something called as page rank. Okay, and I don't know how many of you all would have either read the book, seen documentaries or anything. So when Larry Page, right, one of the co-founders of Google, when he created an algorithm which talked about how do we make sure that we have one page ranking above other page. How does Google decide? And that's where the algorithm comes in, that Google gets to decide whether HDFC should be shown first, ICICI should be shown first, or someone else, right? This, when they created the page rank, it was created in a way wherein there were a lot of rules set in. So the rules were that if the page has a lot of keywords, if the search is for coffee table and the page has 7 words of coffee table, then the page will be ranked first. If the second page had 5, it would be ranked second, right? If someone had 20, then they would come on top. When the original one happened, there were certain things that at that time made sense, because what Larry Page said is that if the page has more and more keywords of that particular word, it means that there's a lot of content about it, which is why that page should be higher. However, that is when the entire practice of black hat SEO came up in 2005. There is a concept of white hat SEO and black hat SEO. White hat SEO is what practices we do properly, respecting the consumer and respecting that there is a particular method of which someone is coming on top and someone is not coming on top. Black hat SEO is where you use methods which are morally incorrect, which are actually ethically, morally everywhere. It's just incorrect to do. And you do those practices to make sure that you come on top. Now, black hat SEO are concepts such as keyword stuffing, wherein, because Larry Page had created that algorithm wherein if someone has 7 keywords and someone has 20 keywords on the page, 20 keywords would come first, right? Larry Page thought people will write correct things on the page. They will make sure that things are not incorrectly written. What people did, however, is they put multiple, and by the way, I was in a company where there were brands who were forcing us to do black hat SEO because they wanted to come first. And we said no, because these are not sustainable, right? And you get penalized by Google also. So they would tell us to put 20 references to that keyword. So article mein pura coffee table, sab jagah bhar ke rakho. Like, how if you're a kid, you're saying, the horse the horse climbed on top of the hill. The horse then had beans. The horse then went to sleep. You multiple times you mention the same thing. Brands started doing that just so that the keyword gets repeated again and again. Now, when it was designed, when Google figured out that there are these practices happening, there's also a practice called cloaking. Cloaking means that so there's a concept called cloaking where the page that's shown to the consumer and the page that is listed on Google are different pages. So all of these are black hat SEOs, right? So when Google figured out in 2005 that there are these black hat SEO practices going on, they completely changed its page rank algorithm in 2006. Hence today, the algorithm that is used for page rank is very different from the page rank algorithm that was used till 2006 before. Like technically till 2000, because 2005 we came to know about it. By 2006, they changed the algorithm. So after 2006, the algorithm has changed drastically. Now today, when we are talking about the algorithm, there are two concepts of this which the algorithm takes into picture, right? And you would have heard of these terms also. There is on-page SEO and there is off-page SEO. Now, on-page SEO is what are the things that are on the website page that you own, right? Pepperfry ki website page. What have you done to make sure that the page is the most relevant to the search that the customer has done? That is on-page SEO. Off-page SEO are what are you doing outside of your website? Which are the website, and I will explain backlinks and all of those things, but what are the things you're doing outside your website, which is helping drive traffic, domain authority, backlinks to your website, right? And that is how these two things are kept differently. Now we'll go through these together. However, before that, if you today, and like I said, there are around 200 factors that determine ranking today, right? Out of that, the ones that are important are listed here. So one is content, and which is why, in content marketing, we talk so much about SEO and we talk about what to write to make sure that when people are searching, that our page comes first, right? Content is the most important thing. And the relevance is for, there was recently another update. So there was a core update that Google took on board, and I will show you where to find these. So in July, actually, there was this complete change that happened, and these updates are in the algorithm itself, right? What is important? And there is this page, there's this Twitter account. I know most of you all don't have a Twitter account, but there is a Twitter account which talks about how Google search works, right? What are the new things that they have come? And if you want to check this out, it's amazing because this is something where Google themselves are saying that this is what we have launched and this is what is important. So the core update, which was launched, changed and said that these are the things that are important. So content was one. Second is backlinks. Now, what is backlinks? Backlinks is that when someone is searching for something, when I'm searching for coffee table, let's see coffee table. Let's take the example of your restaurant itself, Chinese restaurant. Now, if there's an article on TripAdvisor which talks about the Chinese restaurant, I am going to TripAdvisor, reading that article, clicking on the one I like, right? Imagine I clicked on mainland China and I'm taken to the mainland China website. This is a backlink, right? Mainland China is getting a backlink from TripAdvisor, which is adding on to its ranking factor. Because what happens is Google says that if you've got a link, a backlink from a good website, TripAdvisor is a great website. If you've got it from a good website, it means that you are an authentic, actual brand, which is why you will be given more importance during the ranking. Okay, so those are backlinks. Rank brain is the name of the algorithm which is helping to decide which one goes first. And these are all, a lot of this is also rule based, right? Like I said, this depends on the fact that Pooja in the past had seen a listing of mainland China twice, but she didn't click on it both times. So then it customizes and says Pooja is not interested in mainland China. Let me show her other three options. Because see, for Google as a brand, it is important that people click on it, right? Because it knows that if it is not answering the question of the person, then the person will go to some other platform or ask some peer, right? They'll leave Google and they will not ask Google anymore. So for Google, it doesn't matter who is shown. It just matters that whoever is shown, that brand should be clicked on or that listing should be clicked on. So the rank brain is that algorithm. Google freshness algorithm is that when you're searching for something, and imagine I'm searching for tax. Now, when I'm searching for tax slab, right? And if you follow the budget, tax slab keeps changing every year. Now, every year, Clear Tax writes an article about tax slab, right? It does not go and delete the previous article. It is just that basis Google's algorithm, right? These guys have updated this article. Google algorithm takes freshness into account, saying how new is the content. And because this is 2020, 2021, right? Which is technically the year that we are in, because it's for this year. Google gives this article more importance. So if you still go and search ahead, you will find articles, right? If you, I don't know till where, but because a lot of people who write on this. But if you keep going behind, you will reach a stage where you will find tax lab articles from 2015, 16, 17. It will be there because it, out of all of these searches, there will be an article and all of this, like I said, because most of them write it, you will reach a stage where you will find the older articles. But the one that comes on top will be the one which is the newer article because of this entire listing, thing, which is the Google freshness algorithm. That the more recently written article should come on top and the older article should be put behind. Mobile friendliness is obvious, right? All of us look at things when we open TripAdvisor, we will want a website which opens properly on TripAdvisor, which is mobile responsive. So that is important. If your website is not mobile responsive, Google will not give you importance. You will be extremely behind in the listing. Page speed is because when someone searches, and there is this entire maths to it. Now see this article. 53% of mobile site visits are abandoned if pages take longer than 3 seconds to load. A 2-second delay in load time resulted in abandonment rates up to 87%. Now, if there is 53% of people have dropped off because it's taken 3 seconds. If it takes 5 seconds, an additional percentage of people drop, which goes up to 87%. Imagine how many people will drop off, right? Look at this. Page load time. If it is 1 to 3 seconds, probability of bounce increases 32%. Bounce is people who have come to a website and bounce back in 10 seconds. That's bounce. Look at the percentage of increase. You literally will have no one. If your page is loading too slow, people will not even stay on your website. Now, Google realizes this, right? Because Google is seeing that a person is trying to come to your website. Your page is taking too long. Google will then next time say, I'm not going to give you importance because you have not kept a website which is good or conducive for the customer, because the customer is struggling on your website. So I will not allow you to rank higher. That is how page speed becomes a very important thing. Now, Core Web Vitals is here. Okay. Now, this was launched very recently. And like I said, this is a June 15th update, wherein you have things which are when you click or when you open a website, how much time does it take for the entire website? And this large contentful pane, LCP, is how much time did it take for the entire website to load? Is that? And does it load within 3 seconds? Does it load within 1 second? That's the math here. And that's where the comparison happens. So if you have 200 websites, which is the fastest to load, which is the slowest to load, directly wo front half or back half mein divide ho jata hai. And then you look at other factors, right? So this becomes a very important thing. The first input delay is when you open a website. If I open, for example, now in page speed, it will be difficult. Let me. Nowadays, most websites are fast, but I will just. Now, when you click on this, how much time from this click do I get to click on something? See, the entire page is taking so long to load. You're seeing this, it's going round, right? This is easily taken more than 3 seconds. How soon was I able to click on something? First input me, how much time does delay is it taking for the website to capture my first input? That is also something important, because otherwise sometimes the page loads, right? People to fool Google, they load the page, but for all the buttons to start working, they give some time, right? They will load it later. So that is all of this is, so all of these things, right? We don't do it. We give it to the IT team and we say, listen, the page is loading in 7 seconds. Or we go and say, listen, the first input delay is taking 3 seconds. We go and give these inputs to the IT team and the IT team corrects it. We don't have to do anything for it. Okay? So a lot of SEO implementation is done by IT and it's not done at our end. So we don't have to worry about it. We just need to know what is important so we are able to track it and give those inputs out to them. The other one is visual stability. There are some websites when you open, things move. I don't know if you've seen that. This logo would have been down, it goes up. This would have moved a little bit, right? There is movement that happens. Now, this movement is something which is also a problem because your website is then not being made properly. So this also gives you negative point. Now, I will explain schema markup later in our topic. Branded searches and domain path is that some brands are bigger, right? Like a Tata is bigger. Birla is bigger. You know, the fact that the domain itself has power and it's a well-known brand will give them more importance. So if you know, even if you don't do too much of SEO and if you're a bigger brand, you will still come in the top 5 at least, even if you're new, because your parent brand has a lot of name, right? They're already famous. The last thing, and we will discuss this also later, is HTTPS, which is security, right? You should have a security certificate so that people are able to separate a website which is trying to fish and take your information versus a secure website. So HTTPS is important there. Any questions, guys, here?